afraid that if Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam goes outside, I mean, his threat will continue. Okay, so but still, it was part of their plotting to. So we can see, and we all know what happened to his followers. So the as I said, the Surah Al-Waqi', and like the other surahs, were really like, as I said, revealed towards the first part of the Meccan period into the second, to the beginning of the second, where, I mean, the conflict started. Okay, and the tone of the of Quran, it changed. Okay, now it is really focusing on issues that the elite in Mecca were trying to use to urge the people to shy away from this message, especially issues related to why we have been created, what would be the end of this, where are we heading? Okay, is there a next life? Is there retribution? I mean, all these issues, okay, were really important to tackle, and because they are really very important in terms of the overall vision. And this is something that I wanted really today to emphasize, that Quran does not really take these issues separately. I mean, in terms of discussion, yes, I mean, we can, okay, say, okay, let me look at how Quran really dealt with the issue of the day of a judgment, but really it's even better, or definitely better, to see how Quran deals and explores these issues as part of the overall and overarching vision. Okay, and this is what we are really going to see in this surah. Okay, what is the name of the surah? Surah Al-Waqi'. Al-Waqi', it means an event, something.
Giving it to an organization or a masjid, specifically claiming it, I mean, making sure it is zakat.
The event here is the day of a judgment. Okay, if you remember from a previous surahs that we discussed, again in this part of Quran, for example, in Surah Al-Dhariyat, إنما توعدون لصادق وإن الدين لواقع. And the name of the surah here is Al-Waqi'ah. So Quran is saying in Surah Al-Dhariyat, the day of judgment is a reality, is going to happen. It must come to pass. And in Surah At-Tur, we saw إن عذاب ربك لواقع. The punishment of your Lord is a reality, and nothing will really prevent it. ما له من دافع. So it is, again, it must come to pass. And now the whole event is called Al-Waqi'ah. Also we saw another name for the day of judgment, As-Sa'a. اقتربت الساعة. الساعة, like, I mean, literally it means the hour or even the watch, or, but الساعة again, like يوم, as we were talking about yom, it's talking about an event. It's not like 1 hour. You see what I mean? Have you seen that, brother Muzaffar? Brother Muzaffar. So Quran is talking about the day of judgment, referring to it as as-sa'a. It doesn't mean that it's 1 hour. It is talking about an event. Okay? It's a different scale from our scale.
In Arabic, okay? Literally, sa is 1 hour. Right? Literally.
Literally, exactly. But as I said, Quran uses this to talk about an event, a happening. Okay? And one of the greatest happening is basically the beginning of the next life, and the day of resurrection and the last hour. I mean, all these are basically leading us to the same really meaning. But the point here is I want you to see or to keep that word, okay, clear in your mind, okay, so that to see how Quran will use that word, okay, to discuss another important, okay, thing in the surah, which I think that part in the surah is really the central theme of it. Okay, so keep that in mind as we discuss the structure, if you like, of the surah itself. Okay, so no question that the title of the surah is about Al-Waqi'ah, which means in reference to the day of a judgment, and because it was given that name because it must come to pass. If you recall last year when we discussed Surah Al-Haqqa, Al-Haqqa also, it's in reference to the day of judgment. Okay, Al-Haqqatu Mal-Haqqa. What is this amazing event? What is, it's something beyond the imagination. Okay, Al-Haqqatu Mal-Haqqa. Okay, there is like if you like, an exclamation mark, if you like. I mean, if I want to use punctuation, I will put really after Mal-Haqqa an exclamation mark, because this is an amazing event. No matter how I think about it, it's beyond, okay, the imagination. But Al-Haqqa is derived from Al-Haq. The word Al-Haqqa is derived from Al-Haq, which means the truth. But the truth, as we have been discussing, is not a static thing. I mean, you move, okay, from one level to the next as more information become available to you, and there is more emergence of truth, okay, or you bring what you know as a fact to a higher level of thinking and understanding. Okay, it's not, doesn't mean that what you have reached before was wrong. No, it was right. It was truth. But don't limit yourself to that level. There is more to discover to bring that truth into a higher truth. And that will continue, okay, in this life until we reach the day of judgment, which is really the beginning of a new life where we are going to be in absolute reality. You got it? Like, so we are moving, okay, through the truth in this life until we reach, okay, the al-haqqa, where the truth becomes totally revealed. But this life, okay, we move from one level of a truth to the next. So in other words, truth itself is dynamic. It's not static. And this is why we need to keep the door open and move, okay, from one truth to the next. So what is the central theme of this surah? Although it is talking about the day of judgment, and it will be talking about other themes, but I believe that the central theme is in verse, or starts with verse number 75. فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون وتجعلون رزقكم أنكم تكذبون. So this segment or this group of verses talking about Quran is the central theme of the surah, because at the end of the day, Quran is meant for this life, is not meant for the next life. It doesn't work over there. Its mission is here. And this is why it was revealed to us in this life. And that's what makes this life important. Otherwise, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal Quran in this life? If that life, again, this way you can see, or you can erase this idea that this life is not important. No. The problem when it is favored over the next life. Quran does not say that this life is not good. Quran is saying it is not good to favor this life over the next. بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى.
So, Walid, yes. Can I ask you a quick question, please?
Please.
I want to go back to the you just started explaining al-Haqqa and all that. Now, I have found in the same event being given so many different names. For example, Naba al-Azim.
Exactly.
Rashia.
Exactly.
So when I read all this, it seems like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a spherical perspective.
Yes.
You see the same event, but from different perspective.
Yes.
But he's describing, however, the same phenomenon.
Very good. And that, go ahead, continue what you want to say.
So I'm just saying that, he could have kept on repeating the same term, but he had, it's so as if he's giving us to look at the same event from different angles.
Yes.
And each time he gives the new name.
Exactly. Now, I was, believe me, thinking along the same line, and this is why I mentioned at the beginning that to keep the word al-waqi'ah in the back of your mind, okay, as we are discussing this. Notice the section that I said starts with verse number 75. فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ. مواقع and واقع are literally connected. And again, I mean, that will require, it's really a project by itself. my hypothesis is that, and again, I am using this example, okay, from Surah Al-Waqi, okay, to see how Quran changes the name of the same event, but to send a message, as you were alluding, like I like the way you put it in a spherical way, but also to as if each name, okay, of the same event, okay, is helping us to understand also a very important facet of the overall vision.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like, so for example, here, Quran in Surah Al-Waqi is using the idea of wuqu' or the location in time and the space. Okay. And Quran is saying that this day of a judgment is, it must come to pass. It has its appointed time. Okay. And he uses the verb in the past, إذا وقعت الواقعة. So when it comes, okay, but Quran, it says when it came. You see, where do we use the past tense when we are talking about something that already happened? So Quran deals all the time with the day of a judgment as a done deal. Don't argue about it. It must come to pass. It is happening as if it is a done deal. You see what I mean? So this day, as we said, it has its appointed time. Okay, we don't know it. Nobody knows it. Even the Prophet said, I don't know it. Okay. يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها فيما أنت من ذكراها إلى ربك منتهاها. It's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He knows when it is coming, and it has its appointed time, okay, and it will come to pass. No question about that. And the same thing, the revelation of Quran, okay, has also its appointed time. And its verses is like the locations and of these different stars in their different orbits. Now, when you want to use the stars to guide you, وَبِالنَّجْمِ هُمْ يَهْتَدُونَ, is that right? Brother Noor?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, so if I want to be guided by the stars, okay, so they in order for the sky to help me, to guide me through its stars, okay, in my navigation on Earth, okay, they have to be in specific locations. If they change their locations every time, I will lose it. Is that right?
Yes.
So it becomes a reference.
Right.
In the physical world, okay? And in order for Quran in our moral life to be guide, okay, you have to look at each verse in its location. Don't take it out of its location.
Right.
You see what? And this is why we always said that each verse in Quran is in a construct, in a surah, and it has to be understood within that surah.
In its own place.
It's in its own place.
Right.
So Quran, as we all will also will see in the same paragraph, في كتاب مكنون. So it is in a well-guarded divine writ. In other words, in order for Quran to play the role of reference, it should be free of any additions, of any diminutions, or any corruption or changes. But the worst form of corruption, the worst form of counterfeiting is not, I mean, nobody can change because it is divinely protected. Is that right? في لوح محفوظ.
Yes. But by the way, just one comment.
Yeah.
For us non-Arab speakers,
yes,
this surah is an excellent example. There's so many words that are so uncommon. I mean, you know, okay, we have read the Quran, but these words are like jaw-breaking words, you know.
Yeah, the best way. Yeah, exactly. But honestly, the scheme or the approach that we have been using lately about symmetry, okay, even in terms of the words, when I track the word, the same word, and see how it was used in another place, you get a deeper understanding of it in that surah also. For example, here, في كتاب مكنون. It's like when Quran described paradise, and we will see it, okay? لؤلؤ مكنون. Let me tell you which verse. كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون وحور عين, number 22.
Oh, I see.
And number 23, لؤلؤ مكنون.
Yes.
لؤلؤ is pearl.
Yes.
مكنون
yes.
is basically like covered, if you like, so that it will be protected by the shell. Is that right? This is how pearls are. So Quran is also like this. It's a divine writ that is well guarded, as we said, to continue to be free of any changes, corruption. But I want you to again pay attention to what I am going to say, because honestly it is really, really very important that the worst form of counterfeiting, and you know the usual counterfeiting cannot happen in Quran, and nobody can make any change, okay? But where there is a chance for people to make a change, when they apply the verse out of its context, when they change its location.
Right.
And Quran talks about it, يحرفون الكلمة عن مواضعه. يحرفون means to counterfeit.
Right.
الكلم, what is basically talking about, okay? What is mentioned in any holy book, okay, or revealed book, okay? يحرفون الكلمة عن مواضعه, and in another location من بعد مواضعه. This is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala located it. It is in the right location, the same way that each star has its right location. And if you change it, or if for one reason or another it will lose its ability to guide you. You see that? And Quran used that as an oath. You see the verse starts number 75 with an oath.
Dr. Walid, what I find so paradoxical is in one of the Ayahs surahs, Allah himself says that Ba'asa fil ummiyana rasul.
Yes.
Ummiyan.
Ummiyin, yes.
The illiterate people. Now,
no. This is not, doesn't mean illiterate.
Oh.
Unfortunately, this is what they. Okay. Ummiyin is the easiest way to remember it is Gentile.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, because these are the people who did not receive
right.
a revelation before. Right. You see?
So, but some translators have done that, you know, I mean, and that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Because, I mean, not all of them were illiterate.
Right. Because when you take a surah like this, an illiterate people cannot read all this, you know, will not make no sense to them.
Exactly. And not only that, I mean, okay, let us talk about in our own scale, okay? Suppose I am an illiterate person. I did not have chance to go to school, and I did not, and I came to a gathering or to your place, Brother Noor, and you want to introduce me to your colleagues and to other people present. I want to introduce to you my close friend, Walid, who is an illiterate person. Do you do that?
No.
I mean, do you feel proud really about me being illiterate?
Right.
You see, there is no point. I mean, the same thing about the Prophet. So when Quran says An-Nabi al-Ummi, Ummi is the singular of Ummiyin. He was also one of them. Rasulan minhum.
Right.
He was one of them. The same people who did not receive revelation before.
Right.
And so he was in a very good position. He is not different from the people he is talking to. He is telling them, I am like you. إنما أنا بشر مثلكم. يوحى إلي. I am bringing to you a revelation because you did not have the revelation before.
Right.
Yes. But again, make the connection between the name of the surah and the name of the important event. As you alluded to, Brother Noor, that Quran now uses a new name, okay, but it has connection with very important, and in fact, the central theme, I think, of the surah, talking about Quran and making this similitude between the locations of the stars in the sky similar to the location of the verses in Quran.
Right.
And Quran will use the oath. Again, remember, what does an oath mean? What does an oath mean? When I say Wallahi, I am making an oath. Is that right?
Right.
I said the truth. What does it really mean? It means that I am asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be my witness. That what I am saying is the truth. Is that right? And this is what the judges and courts of law, they ask the witnesses to do the same. Okay? Do they say, okay, I'm making the judge my witness? No. They want you to make Allah, okay, your witness. Is that right? That you are saying that word. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking the stars to be the witness for the truth in Quran, or the Quran to be a guide the same way they are guide for us to navigate in the physical world. And so if you don't accept the stars to change their locations every now and then, or based on their whim, okay, don't change the location of Quran in order for Quran to remain the best guide for you in your moral life. In fact, it is the guide. You see? So it's really very beautiful. Okay, if the day of judgment has its own location and time, is that right?
Yeah.
And Quran itself revealed from Rabb al-Alameen, it was also at the right time. What do we call that night when Quran was revealed?
Laylatul Qadr.
Laylatul Qadr. You see, it is the right, the night of measure. It is the right time. Okay, this is the time when the life on this earth, okay, was ready and become in a dire need for Quran to act. You see, Tanzil is not only coming down. Yes, it means it has come down. Nazala. But also Nazala means to enter. So it came down in order to enter our life. So that is enough to give this life its also honor. Otherwise, why Quran will be... And Quran, as we said, is not for the day of judgment, but how to prepare, how to make... You remember what we said before, that we and all the creation, okay, has been moving for over 13 billion years, okay? Moving, this creation has been moving at every level. We saw new creations and new creations until the human being appeared at the right time. And now there is the right time for humanity to receive Quran. But look at how, and this is, I wish you understand the last presentation of Dr. Naji, because he talked and he had very interesting observations about the night of power, or the night of measure, Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr, okay, Quran said, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا Laylatul Qadr. Ma, this ma is again for exclamation. And again, you can put at the end of that sentence an exclamation mark. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا Laylatul. What do you know about that night? It is beyond your imagination. It's beyond your appreciation. This night is full of goodness. Its goodness is better than the goodness of 1,000 years. Not only months, because each year you have 1 month of Ramadan. Is that right? So, although Quran said خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ, but if you look at that shahr as Ramadan, you are talking about the goodness of that night, better the goodness of 1,000 years. And in that night, okay, the start of this connection with al-mala'ul a'la, with the higher society, where you see al-mala'ika themselves, the angels themselves play that role. What do we read in another places of يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرَ, Surah Al-Ma'arij? Ma'arij, like the plural of Mi'raj. تعرج الملائكة والروح إليه في يوم كان مقداره 1000 سنة مما تعدون. You see the symmetry? Yeah. How it helped us to understand. So this is, don't do it, think about it in your own scale. This is an angelic night. You have to understand it in the scale of al-malaika. You see how big it is, how important it is. Not only that, Quran describe it as salam. So again, if you want your trip, your travel in this life, as you are moving into the next, don't want it to be peaceful? Don't want to be full of goodness? Don't you want it to be full of nur? حتى مطلع الفجر. Fajr, what is Fajr? Dawn, the beginning of life that we all anticipate after every night in order for life to continue. So again, and here Quran is saying, إنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم. Quran is saying it's not a simple oath. It's coming from Al-Azim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Azim. Is that right? And he is telling us that this oath is a great oath. وَإِنَّهُ if you know, وَإِنَّهُ لَقَسَمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيم. Now one may ask why there is la, which means no or never. Why Quran saying فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ? أقسم means to make an oath. Okay? But Quran is saying فَلَا أُقْسِمُ. This negation, it doesn't mean that you don't. So you are making an oath where you don't really need an oath. I mean, you need an oath in order really like to prove something. Is that right? Here Quran is saying, I am making that oath in a place where it doesn't really need an oath because the issue is very clear. لو تعلمون. Only if you know. But what is the oath about? About that this Quran is Kareem, dignified, okay, of noble status, and you need to deal with it as such. في كتاب مكنون, in a very well guarded divine writ, as we said, to incorruptible. And another addition here, لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. يمسه, I'm sure you are aware of this. And since we were young, they were using that verse to tell us, okay, make wudu before you read Quran. Make sure that you are tahir, clean. Okay? And which definitely, is basically appropriate. Okay? Now you are dealing with a book of that status. Don't deal with it as if you are reading another book. Okay? At least come with in the best state, okay, even physically. But no question that the verse is beyond the physical cleanliness or purity. لا يمسه. It's out of touch. Only the pure of heart can touch. Now, when you touch, okay, like let us say a hand touches another hand, okay? In fact, both of them are touching each other. In order for Quran to touch us, is that right? Right. We need also to be in a state when we are touching, in a very high state when we are touching it. Touching it doesn't mean literally, physically, okay? But you cannot, only those who are pure of heart can take from Quran, can palpate and feel Quran. I like what a Buddhist doctors Buddhist doctors really rely a lot on the physical findings, okay, to make the diagnosis of a disease. But they, for example, if you want to measure the pulse rate, okay, of an individual, what do you do? What do you do? Well, if you want to check the pulse,
you hold the hand.
Yeah, you hold the hand and you put basically your fingers on the artery. Right. Is that right? And the hand and you measure. So you can use two words here. You can say, I palpate. But for the Buddhist doctors, they say, I want to feel. Which is deeper in meaning?
Feeling.
Feeling, is that right? So as a doctor, I don't want only to palpate physically. I want to feel my patient also. So think about it in this way also. It's not about touching. You want to feel Quran in order to take from it. In Arabic, we say,
but Dr. Walid,
let me just say this word so that so you can understand the meaning. In Arabic, we say, مَسَّ مِنْ عَطْرِهِ, which means you take from that person his like it's nice and a beautiful smell. You see what I mean? So it's not only you are smelling, but it becomes part of you. And touching Quran is feeling it, but you need to be in that state of tuhur, of a purity of heart, in order for Quran to touch you and to take from it, from its treasures and its beautiful smells. Yes, Noor.
Physical purity is also very important because it has to be reverential. You know, I mean, this is, after all, a revelation from the Almighty Allah, right?
Exactly. And this is, I again, as I said, I am not against that at all. Right. But the problem is when we limit ourselves to this. This is like, let us put it this way, this is the minimum. Don't go below it, because you are dealing with a noble book, okay? So be in a state, if we really understand wudu beyond, or ablution, beyond the physical washing, okay? Because really, it is unfortunate. Al-fuqaha, okay, the jurists, okay, over time, they become very mechanical.
Right. No,
you see what I mean? So, okay, how you should really perform it, and how much of your face has to be washed, and all these things. Okay, they become very granular about, okay, the mechanical part of it.
Right.
So it covered up the objective of wudu.
It misses the
spiritual. Exactly, the spiritual component of it, because the connect, they miss the connection between water and life. Okay, so when you are washing, okay, your face and your hands and these are the parts of you that needs to be alive all the time, because they are your senses. You agree? So as if Quran is saying, you have to be alive. Keep your senses alive so that you can receive. You can really feel and see and listen and touch. If we take it in that meaning, it will help us in the purity of the heart. But if I take it in a purely mechanical way, okay, wudu will be disconnected from life. The same way we have seen how prayer has become disconnected from life when it is disconnected from its social implications, from when it is disconnected from our social responsibilities. The same thing for wudu or these physical things that we take in preparation for either prayer or reading Quran. And this is how Quran, after that, verse number 81, very beautiful. أَفَبِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَنْتُمْ مُدْهِنُونَ. Al-Hadith, this Quran itself, what we have been saying so far about Quran and its location, its mission, its vision, okay? Mudhinun, are you going to compromise with what we have been saying? You want to take it lightly? Or you appreciate its location, its position in your life as guide, hudan, as reference, the same way you use the stars in the sky to guide your navigation. أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون وتجعلون رزقكم أنكم تكذبون. Very beautiful. I mean, if you read it like literally, okay, what رزقكم, you know, sustenance. Is that right? How? So as if Quran is saying, instead, when you are sustained, you need to thank. You have to show gratitude. Is that right? Unfortunately, instead of showing gratitude to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sustained them with, however it is in the physical world or in the moral world, okay, they make lying their bread and butter. This is what we say, I mean, like as an expression. Okay, oh, this is what I do. This is my bread and butter to treat, let us say, bacterial infections. I mean, I do that on daily basis. Okay, this is my bread and butter. Sometimes, I mean, every now and then I see other things. Okay, or this is cholecystectomy, or like taking the gallbladder is for a surgeon, a general surgeon, is their bread and butter. This is a common surgery, or they removing the appendix. But this is not something that but this is their bread and butter. Okay, these people, in relation to Quran, in relation to all the bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, and we have seen in Surah Ar-Rahman, although the surah is talking about ala, is that right? فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. What was the first ni'mah? What was the first favor from Ar-Rahman? Ar-Rahman علم القرآن. Believe me, if you just remember that, it's enough for me. I see Shakil smiling widely. What do you think, Shakil? Yusuf also. But you see, I mean, I want also to show you the connection. Okay, how these surahs are connected in their themes. Although we said that because the ayah was repeated several, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ, almost every other verse, the same thing comes over and over. But really, if you look at the first and the most important, it came before the creation of man. Although we said in terms of chronologically, human being came first. Later, Quran was revealed. But Quran is saying, as if it's telling us there is no meaning of the creation of man without guidance. And the guidance has reached its peak with Quran. Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan. Do you agree with me that this makes sense? That this is really the central theme? And then we will see the other themes in the surah rotate around it. Because there is no meaning, okay, to talk about the day of the judgment, or to talk about all the favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And we will see a large, a significant segment of the surah talking about this, okay, about creation itself. Okay, I mean, you cannot talk about, as we said, Brother AJ, can we talk about the creation without fill in the blank? AJ, do you hear me? Unmute yourself for a second. Is he still with us?
He is. Let me. He might be on. I have to unmute him.
Okay. But
it is such a great discussion. I hate to interrupt because so many questions came to my mind, but surprisingly, the next sentence you say, you answer my question. So I don't want to answer it.
Again, we will see how Quran and the same surah will be talking about the creation, and we cannot talk about the creation without purpose. And we cannot talk about purpose without really guidance. I cannot go to my purpose without guidance. I cannot go to any destination, even physically. I need an address, but the address is not enough. You tell me, how can I reach you today? It's easy because with the GPS, you just put the address and it will take you. But remember the days before the GPS. Okay, you have to use the map or to use the person at that destination. Okay, which routes I have to, which highway I have to take, what is the easiest way, the shortest, way to reach you. So you need guidance. You see where the different themes become highly connected with each other. And this is why I said at the beginning, my dear brothers and sisters, that although Quran in this surah is dealing with an important issue, to which, the title was of the surah was given, Al-Waqi', and talking about the day of judgment. And there is a detailed description. Okay, very beautiful description. But again, Quran is dealing with it within the overarching vision of Quran itself.
Dr. Khayr, the word mudhinun, what is the literal meaning? Does it have anything just taking lightly something?
Let me remind you, and I use the same verse in my Eid khutbah. The verse is from Surah القلم.
Okay.
نون والقلم وما يسطرون ما أنت بنعمة ربك بمجنون. After few verses, Quran said, وَدُّوا لَوْ تُدْهِنُوا فَيُدْهِنُونَ.
Okay.
So from dahana, okay, the verb dahana is like to compromise. Okay, Quran is saying to the Prophet, okay, you are given a huge favor. You are on exalted level of conduct, moral conduct, خلق عظيم. Do not compromise at its expense. Stay on the course. You see, you are given something عظيم, great. Is that right? خلق عظيم. Don't compromise. Don't go below it. And this Quran, don't deal with it as Kareem. Deal with it the same way you deal with the stars in the sky to guide you in your navigation. Don't deal with it less than that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون? And the way Quran is saying it, أنتم مدهنون, they are in that continuous state. They don't want to change their state, the state of compromising, of taking Quran lightly. And Quran is saying, why are you doing this? And why you are making your lying about this Quran, saying everything that is false about it, making that your bread and butter. وَتَجْعَلُونَ رِزْقَكُمْ أَنَّكُمْ تُكَذِّبُونَ. And now one can like definitely when they are doing this, they are trying to protect their interests. And all their interests, okay, the bottom line is what? Is money. Is their rizq.
Livelihood.
You see? So the custodians, the elites in Mecca, why they were concerned, as we said, like, I mean, about Quran, about the new message. Because it started really to affect their own interests.
It's finance.
Eventually, yes, at the end of the day, they were concerned about their trade.
The status quo.
Because Mecca became center of a trade. And if you look at the map where Mecca is located at that time, in that world at that time, okay, you can see it as a hub for the what Quran refers to رحلة الشتاء والصيف. So they were in agreements with so many tribes in Arabia, so that they can protect or keep their trade routes protected. However, it is to the south, to Yemen, okay, usually in during الشتاء or winter, and in during summer they go up north, okay, to in the direction of the Levant or like Asham.
See, what's interesting is, Dr. Walid, is the way I see it is the Quraysh, they were actually very smart people because they saw the financial, the adverse financial implication.
Oh, yeah.
And if that wasn't the case, they would have left Muhammad alone.
Alone, yes. But in fact, they even tried so many times to make him compromise.
Right.
So that they will, they have it, as we say, have it both, okay? But they realized at the end that they cannot have both because Muhammad ﷺ was not compromising. He did not dilute, okay, his beliefs and his ideals.
Yeah, Dr. Walid, this brings to my famous hadith where the Prophet said, you can...
I'm sorry, you were this... Hello, Muzaffar?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you repeat?
Yeah, this brings to my mind the famous hadith that the Prophet Muhammad said, even if you give me moon on my right hand and sun on my left hand, get from my path.
Yes. This is this is just one, okay, of the incidents, okay, where they tried several ways through like his relatives, including his uncle Abu Talib, okay, I mean, like, to find really like a middle ground, okay. Definitely the Prophet, peace be upon him, was always on the initiative to diffuse any dispute, but again, not at the expense of the principles.
Right.
And this is why Quran said, وَدُّوا لَوْ تُدْهِنُوا فَيُدْهِنُوا. They wish that they loved, in fact, for you to compromise so that they can compromise. Right. But Muhammad basically was really sticking, okay, to the principles, okay, and did not dilute them at any, even if it has really like to put him in a, I mean, dangerous position.
I think this is also relevant this time. Because you notice, like, with the what's going on with the with the coronavirus, and then going on with all this violence and things like that, people are worried about their trade, like economy. Oh, economy is going to be impacted, but forgetting about the human cost and the human rights that are getting violated, and people who are not protected because of this coronavirus thing. They're not worried about that, right? So again, the same methodology that Quran is talking about is perceived like that's why Quran is so relevant to all the eras, because these human problems continue throughout our time
and different
the
forms
same
and
similar
shapes,
forms and shapes, and that's so beautiful.
Very good, very good, very good. Yeah, again, I mean, you are right, Shakil, and this is very, very important, really, observation and connection, because at the end of the day, okay, this is where we want Quran to touch us, okay? We want Quran to interpret us. You see what I mean? And to interpret, okay, and this is a really interesting thing in the verse number 78, في كتاب مكنون. Also, maknoon is something that you need to dive for it, like the pearls. You cannot get the pearls from on the surface. Is that right? So you have to dive in. The same thing, the meanings of Quran, okay, we need to, in order to explore them, we need to dive in, okay? And as you dive, okay, this process is continuous. It's not like, okay, I will reach that and that's it. No. وَمَا يَعْلَمُ تَأْوِيلَهُ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. Don't close the door. Ma'al, ta'wil from ma'al, which means that you want to reach your destination. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I am the only one who knows the destination, where it can reach.
Brother Walid, can I make a comment?
I'm sorry?
Can I make a comment?
Please.
Yeah, just adding what you just said. You know, at the beginning, you mentioned that the truth is dynamic.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I just want to look at a different way as just what you said now. I think the truth is the truth always, is our perception or understanding of the truth that changes. The more we understand, the more we learn, our understanding of the truth moves a little bit closer to the truth itself.
Exactly.
The truth is always true.
Oh, yeah. That truth
but
is...
us, how we understand it and what is truth, is it's our perception that changes and it improves with time. You know, I just want to use that we look at instead of saying truth is dynamic. I think
because that truth is Allah. You see what I mean? Everything we know here, even when it becomes a fact, okay, it should not stop there, because you can always take it to the next level.
That's right.
Just to give you an example of what we do on daily basis. I mean, the patient comes to me and tells me about his or her, signs and symptoms and everything. And then I may, reach a certain, understanding. Okay. And I think this is really what is going on. Then I do some lab test, an X-ray or another imaging, and then, I have more information. That doesn't mean that I was wrong before. I was right.
Just the perception was at that level. Based on. But the truth is always true. Just how we can to it.
Exactly. It is based upon, my brother, it is based upon my level of information.
That's
you
true.
See what I mean? So when I add more information, I elevated the truth into a higher level. You see what I mean?
I don't want to say that I elevate the truth. The truth is always there. My understanding has gone up, but not the truth itself.
Yes. No, that truth is that truth is not changing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that truth. But the way we go from one level to the next, okay, this is the dynamicity that I am talking about. That you always elevate the truth, okay, in terms of based on your level of thinking and understanding. That's basically the thing that you are referring to. That, okay, the truth is the truth, yes, but it is not one level. Even certainty, Quran does not talk about it as one level. Quran talks about al-yaqeen, okay, لَتَرَوُنَّ الْيَقِينَ عَيْنَ الْيَقِينَ. Today, or in this surah, إِنَّ هَذَا لَهُوَ حَقُّ الْيَقِينَ. This is the highest level, okay? Even certainty is not one level. Even Quran talks about it as different levels, okay? Again, because in terms of our understanding, and which means that the process of exploring should not stop. Quran is the truth.
That's okay. I understand that.
I understand it is a little bit difficult because this is probably, honestly, it is new to me, and I think it is new to all of us, okay? How to, even the truth, to see it, even when the Quran talks about tawasaw bil-haqqi wa tawasaw bil-sabr, okay? It means also we need to advise each other, okay? Not only that we were doing something wrong, and now we are doing something right. This is obvious. But also how we can really like move to a higher level of understanding of things and add, as I told you the example, okay, at one level I may see this is really okay, the cause of your cough is pneumonia, okay, but then I have to ask another question. What is the cause of this pneumonia? Is it a virus? Is it a bacteria? And if it is a bacteria, what type of bacteria? Is it really a resistant one, a sensitive one? You see, there is no stop. My level of understanding is higher, it goes higher and higher, but it requires to put more effort. And if I stop at one level, it is still the truth, but it is not all the truth. It's not the absolute truth.
We are talking about two different truths. You know, here is the truth about Allah, which is the absolute truth.
The absolute truth, exactly.
Okay. Right.
Which is not in our reach.
Right.
Here. This is why we have to move. Okay, to get closer and closer to the truth. تحروا رشدا لأقرب من هذا رشدا. And الرشد is إصابة الحق. Quran is saying you have to seek it all the time. It's not a one destination. It is a journey. It is a process until we move to the next life, which is the absolute reality. Al-Haqqa. Okay, I think we'll stop here, and inshallah next time we will start really looking at the other themes, okay, from the beginning of the surah, and start to connect it with the central theme of the surah. But I hope that, I mean, with this way you can really see the surah in a different way, okay? And you can also see, we will see also the symmetry, okay, in the surah itself, okay? And we start to see really the idea of al-waqi'a, إذا وقعت الواقعة, and مواقع النجوم, okay?
Inshallah.